Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your February 2023 general reading. We're looking at the first half of February, so from the 1st through the 15th, and this reading is for our Rams, the fire sign of the fire sign of Aries. As always, I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to be here to watch this videos, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and anything and everything that you do that supports this YouTube channel. Always a note of gratitude to start. So, Aries, this is for you, first half of February 2023. If your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Aries, if you're cross-watching for an Aries, it's also relevant. But as you know, and as we always say, it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone because it's a general reading. So if you know any of your other signs, sun, moon, rising, or Venus, watch them as well, because it can bring in additional bits of insight and perspective to help you in your personal situation. Now, if you find that something really does touch you, it really does resonate with you, and you'd like to take a deeper look at it, reach out for a personal reading or information about that for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that contact info by clicking the description link with this video. I would love to hear from you. I do offer a pretty wide variety of readings in all areas of life of all different lengths and times. And still quite popular right now are the overviews I do, 6 and 12-month overviews, which give you a look ahead in a variety of different areas of life and what's coming in. And you can order them any time of the year, but they're always popular at the end of one year and the beginning of another year. I always get a lot of requests for them because people like to, kind of take a look ahead as they're transitioning into a new year or into a new phase in their life. So something else to think about. Typically, after you email me, I can get back with you with that information within the same day. So if you're interested, please reach out. Okay, Aries, let's see what the first half of February 2023 looks like for you. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Radiant Rider-Waite. Okay, Aries, we begin with the Ace of Cups. Could be new love and romance for some of you. The heart beginning to open up again. The beginning of self-love and self-awareness. An emotional renewal in an already existing situation. With the moon. So perhaps not knowing, a lack of clarity, hidden fears kind of rolling around in there. Perhaps some spiritual or intuitive tuggings at you. It may be that you've met someone new that you aren't sure about. It may be that you're already in a relationship that's had some issues and you're not sure about if it's possible to have kind of a reawakening or a renewal. Next we have the Five of Cups. A card that can represent loss, grief, grieving over what was in these 3 cups, what you had. Still 2 cups upright and full. Could be a card of regret, apologies. With the Queen of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Showing up as a female, but it's a general reading, so it could be a male as well. The Queen of Water, the Queen of Emotions. Somebody who's emotionally probably quite sensitive and loving and giving, good source of support, feedback, comfort. This is someone who's relevant, but you're feeling the Five of Cups about this person. You still have some kind of connection or relationship with this person, but there's also a fair amount that you feel you've lost or don't have or regret. Next, we have the Seven of Coins. This is a card of kind of taking inventory, looking at what you have invested in something and asking yourself, okay, can I grow this to a 10, which would be feeling very secure, because 10s represent cycle endings or cycle achievements. So the 10 of Coins or Pentacles or the 10 of Earth would represent long-term security and stability, not having to worry about the future so much or at all. So is it possible to take this issue, this connection, this relationship further? Can I be satisfied with what I have? Should I take what I've invested and just go on? I mean, it's a card of looking at what you've put into something, what you have to show for it, and any particular changes you may want to make as a result of that. With that Seven of Coins, we have the Two of Cups. Soulmates, kindred spirits, a relationship or union in which there is a karmic tie or a karmic connection. I really feel like, I mean, I do try and look at the cards, especially in general readings, because it's not specifically for one person, you know, a variety of life areas. But some readings come out quite heavily skewed in one direction. And I think for many of you, Aries, this is going to be a relationship reading of a romantic kind, because relationships can be all different kinds. But I think for many of you, this is probably going to be a relationship that is romantic, or even if it's best friends, you know, which the Two of Cups can represent as well. There's a lot of love and karmic energy between the two of you. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy or the focus for the first half of February is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is a card about concealment or deception or keeping something hidden or to yourself. You know, operating behind the curtain, whether it's positive or negative. I mean, we all do that, right? It's a self-serving card. It's at the very least keeping something to yourself for the time being. This feels like an already established relationship that has been going through some difficult times, and right now you're at a point, even though you may not be talking about it, of wondering what to do to make it better, if there's something you can do, if you're willing to do that, or whether it's time for you to move on, for the two of you to move apart. Let's clarify that overall energy of the Seven of Swords. The Ten of Wands. Feeling really overwhelmed, feeling really at the end, feeling like you need to let a heavy burden go, or something has to give. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is about intuition and kind of that inner sense of knowing, you know, feeling compelled one way or the other. The High Priestess, I mean, it's about your higher self or your intuition, or some people call it gut instinct, that kind of inner sense of knowing. I mean, this is knowing what you need to do, not talking about it. Four of Cups, an offer being made, somebody looking at it, considering it, not sure if they should take it or not, or make it or not. Extend the offer or accept the offer, or some combination of both. It feels like for many of you that this is a relationship which has stalled out at a certain point, and it may be that one of you wants to move forward in some sense, like either moving in together or getting married, something like that, and the other person doesn't, or has fears about it that's keeping them. And so it feels like the relationship has stalled and kind of come to a crossroads, you know, of, okay, we need to make a decision on where this goes from here, or if it goes anywhere. I'm surprised not to see the Lovers here, but maybe that'll come out. But the overall energy is that you have some kind of intuition, some kind of inner knowing about what you could do to prevent a relationship from ending. Whether or not you want to do it or you're willing to do it, but it feels like there's some sense of knowing, even though it looks like for the time being you're keeping it to yourself. Clarify the Ace of Cups. Renewal, which I believe it is here. Five of Cups again. Sorrow, grief, loss, regret, justice, and judgment both. I mean, both of these cards, I mean, there could be a legal issue here if this is like you're talking about divorce or something like that. But these are both cards whose outcome are strongly implied by what decisions and choices you make. Reap what you sow. Make a decision, because this decision is going to be what you stay with, likely, for a long period of time or for the rest of your life. So choose carefully, choose wisely, because you're not going to be able to go back from whatever decision you make, whether it's to invest further in this relationship or to move apart. So think carefully. I feel like you, again, for some of you, this may be simple. Well, not simple in the sense that relationship issues are never simple, but it may be a very clear-cut issue of, do we move to the next step or not? The next step of commitment, a deeper level of responsibility, commitment, obligation, whether that's moving in together or purchasing a house together or getting married. And one person wants to, the other person is stuck. So the relationship is stuck, but it's stuck at a crossroads. And we don't tend to, relationships, because they consist of more than one person, tend not to stay stuck at crossroads for too long, because something does have to give. Either the relationship moves forward into that next step, or a decision is made that you move apart, that you go your separate ways, right? You just, your paths diverge, right? And it feels like many of you know what that decision should be in order to keep the relationship, but again, it feels stalled. And what you choose is going to decide what this relationship is going to be or not going to be. Clarify the moon. The Nine of Swords, a lot of stress, anxiety, worry, sleepless nights, fear of an unknown future. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if we move in together and it turns out awful? And what if we decide to get married and then, it turns out awful? I mean, all the fears that people have about moving on to the next step, if they have fears about those kind of things, might be one particular big thing, or it might be a variety of smaller things. And it's in relationships, it's typically because they're worried that some past pain or hurt is going to repeat itself here. You're unsure. Clarify the Five of Cups, loss, grief, regret, with that Queen of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups. So you feel like slowly but surely someone is moving away, that the two of you, that there's a distance between the two of you, whether it's physical distance, but I also feel like there's mental, emotional distance here, and you're sad about that. You see this distance kind of widening between the two of you. And there may, and it feels like, a relationship is two people, so it's never the fault or the whatever is never just on one side, right? There may also be mixed up in this some kind of regret, but it feels like you're seeing your person kind of move slowly but surely further and further away from you. Clarify Queen of Cups. The Lovers. Yeah. So we have the Lovers and the Two of Cups. Definitely a relationship issue. This person is representative of your person. The Lovers represents a relationship at a crossroads, and a very significant decision needs to be made, which is going to impact the relationship. Probably either keep it together if you make a decision in this direction, or it's going to end if you make a decision in the other direction. Now, with the Lovers card, the decision can be about the relationship itself, or it may be that the decision is in another area of life, like work, career, or moving, or something like that. And it's going to have such a significant impact on the relationship that it's pretty much going to decide the future of that relationship here too. Either way you look at it, the relationship, the future of the relationship is a central focus or issue here. Clarify the Seven of Cups, taking inventory. There's our confirmation, the Queen of Cups again right here. Strength, which is about facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. Because it feels like you have some kind of intuition or inner knowing about what you could do to keep this relationship from ending and to fix this kind of distance between the two of you. Or you have a pretty good idea. But there's a fear about doing it here. And that's what needs to be faced. Those fears need to be brought up, talked about, and faced. Clarify the Two of Cups. The Star. Renewed, restored hope, faith, and optimism. The sun coming out after a dark time. It's wish fulfillment based on faith. The Page of Cups. Little loving messages, support, encouragement. The Three of Wands, making preparations for the future, waiting for those ships to come in. Excuse me. I think here, Aries, you're ending this 2-week period of time in kind of a state of contemplation. I mean, with the Lovers and the Two of Cups, there's no lack of love and caring between the two of you. It's definitely a connection that has karmic energy in it. But someone is afraid to move forward, and the relationship either has to move forward or it has to end. That's what this feels like here. And at the end here, it feels like you're contemplating, you're actually, which is a good thing, taking a look at, what you want to do, what needs to be done, what you're willing to do, and that requires facing fears, doubts, insecurities. Do I have what it takes? Could I be willing to take this to the next step? And if not, am I willing to let this go because of it? Looking at what you have invested in this relationship, and asking yourself, what do I have to gain? What do I have to lose? And kind of weighing that out. That's what this, this Seven of Pentacles kind of energy is all about. And in doing that, you have to look at things that you're afraid of. You have to look at pros and cons. You have to look at every aspect of it, right? Before you go rushing in and making a decision that you might later regret. All right, so let's end with some advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit for Aries, first half of February. Seven of Pentacles. Here's your first card of advice and guidance. You're doing the right thing. Taking a good hard look. This is not rushing into any decisions. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. This is thinking about what you have to gain, what you have to lose with this decision or the other decision. Three of Pentacles. This is a card of working together, teamwork, collaboration, compromise, negotiation. Sometimes this can be a marriage card. That's definitely not advice to let this relationship end. Four of Swords and the Hermit. These are both cards about inner contemplation, taking some time to kind of really go within and look for the answers and seek out the answers here. The Hermit can sometimes represent, along with the Three of Pentacles, is getting an outside opinion or counseling of some kind, or seeking some kind of, counselor, priest, pastor. It can represent that as well. But really taking your time to make what you feel is the best decision, because whatever decision is made here with justice and judgment coming out together, it's likely going to be what decides this relationship or not. You're not going to be able to reverse it. Meaning that if you decide to move forward with this relationship into the next thing that you've been stalled on, or that the other person's been stalled on, then this relationship will continue to move forward. If you choose not to, it looks highly probable that this relationship will end and it will not be resuscitated again. And that probably, there's an implication under there that this is probably a relationship that's been in existence for some time. So Spirit is telling you to think carefully, contemplate, and work together. And that's what it's all about. And everybody's situation is going to be different, right? But what I'm not seeing is energy about a negative, toxic relationship. What I'm not seeing is energy about, do what you want to do and leave the situation. That's what I'm not seeing, quite the opposite. So, but free will, free agency, right? Okay. All right, Aries, those are your messages for the first half of February 2023. I hope that you found them useful, or at least gave you pause, some reflection, or validated what you've already been thinking. Again, if this does resonate with you, you'd like to reach out for a personal reading or information about that for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the February mid-month readings, probably right around Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, whether you have a romantic partner or not. It's a day to celebrate, recognize, honor, and celebrate the people we love and care about in our lives. So happy Valentine's Day a little early. And I hope to see you back here again around that time. Take care. Bye-bye.